What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to my Hardcore Dryad Only series in Dungeon Defenders 2. We are, of course, making our way through the Star of Dragonfall questline. We're finally at the last map. For that one, I chose Dragonfall Sewers. Now, we do have a couple of sketchy bits here. It is no course fall below 90% health. The problem with that is we got this core right here so crazy close. We're going to have to be cautious of that one. But we've got no other real limitations. No R's, no nodes. We don't have either of those, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's just go ahead and get it started here. I'm going to spawn camp this lane. And in fact, this lane I'm kind of worried about because of that sub-objective being close. So with that in mind, we're going to go crazy heavy here. We got 2 slimes on that one. And we'll throw 4 bees down below. Now, one of the benefits we get out of these 2 lanes is that lane is going to help out down below. Anything down below is going to help out in that lane as well. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and throw a tree like right there. We'll get a slime all the way down there. And then we'll put our bees behind the tree, where they've still got just tons of range. To handle that particular lane, but it's just going to give us overkill with the bees up here. In fact, I can sell, right? I could actually get rid of a couple of these bees and go with a Nimbus. Go with 2 Nimbus. So we'll have pretty much a powerhouse going right there. Now, this lane here is the easiest lane by far. You just got the little down and around. The enemies have to go all the way down and around there. So let's just throw a slime right there. I think just anything we do here is going to be good enough. We'll go with 4 bees, just something like that. And then you see I've got a truckload of DU left for this lane. So 260 DU. This lane has got a close sub-objective too, but the only reason that should ever be a problem is versus a boss or maybe a berserker. So we do have the flyer lane here as well. If we went to, that leaves me 160. That's actually 5 bees. So let's do that. Let's just drop 5 bees right here. Of course, the range of them is good enough where that's just going to be getting right into spawn. And that should deal with the flyers and the ground mobs. That's a lot of power there, without a doubt. Now, as I mentioned, this lane is my main area of concern. So with that in mind, I am going to fight right here. So let's just go ahead and we'll spam stars up right here and just let it fly. This one's going to be all about 2 things. If a berserker, of course, runs past my tree and gets to the sub-objective, that's going to be a problem. And then any sort of bosses. Like if I get a cannon ogre, I'm going to just have to watch out. Because, fall below 90% health. It doesn't take much for a core to drop below 90% health. Just the lightest shot is going to do that. Now we do have fairly low mob counts on this map, of course. Should be pretty smooth sailing. That lane is just getting slapped. It looks like the Nimbus is just kind of spawn camping down there. Alright, so what do we want to do for upgrades? Well, as I mentioned, this lane is just going to be easy. So let's just throw a couple of B upgrades on. That should automate that lane fully. Over here, this is pretty regularly a boss lane. So let's get a little bit more thickness on that tree, and then we'll throw 1 upgrade on everything here. A couple more on some bees. That's looking pretty good. And we got our boss here for this lane. Looks like it's going to be a Skelly. So let's just let it fly. We'll drop a few more stars. Now, of course, besides just completing the new player quest line, or this stage of the new player quest line, we are also going to be earning mass destruction for this. So it's such a huge deal, y'all. I know a lot of people are intimidated by mastery, but when you've got just hundreds of mastery stars to choose from, earning 50 stars is not that tough. You just have to go through and pick and choose, you know, what maps you're going to do based on what heroes you play. Now, in addition to that, you know, remember, mastery is a game of shards. The whole game is a game of shards. So make sure you have the correct shards in place, and it's going to make your mastery experience quite trivial, combined with some mods. All right, we got a Plaguing Hawk, which is good. Right, we spam it up and get ready for the next wave. I kind of feel like I want to just dump all my upgrades into that lane right there. If I'm going to have a problem anywhere, it would likely be either from this lane or that lane. And since I'm going to be manually managing this lane, we can just get this lane completely jacked. And that should ease any pain we're going to have over here. Do that little level up there. Not that it matters, but we got some ascension points to put in. Right, let's see. Just rinse and repeat. We'll get a few more stars dropped here and then just go into slap duty here. Since we do want to make sure that there's no issues over here. Look at the bosses this time. Never a great idea to not look at the bosses. Knowing what's coming is half the battle. This is a game of countering enemies. So if you don't know what enemy's coming, you know, you're kind of hurting yourself. But I'll make sure to look next wave. All right, it's a Siege Roller and an Ogre here. So we want to get that Siege Roller down before he causes any problems to the trees. Actually, the Siege Roller looks like he got pounded on a little from those slimes. That is good stuff. We'll give him a little bit more of an assist here. There we go. Siege Roller down. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drop all my upgrades here. Just keep the juice flowing on this lane. Okay, we're going to have a Cannon Ogre here. So let's get our tree completely jacked. And then hopefully this Cannon Ogre is just going to burn. What do we have here? We've got Gribs here, which Gribs is not going to be as much of a problem. Definitely want to, or need to pay attention to that Cannon Ogre, though. Throw a few rando ups around. So when that Cannon Ogre comes out, I may want to be over on that side of the map. The problem is the Cannon Ogre, even with the upgrades in on that tree, the Cannon Ogre is not going to take many shots to destroy that tree. And then it's got just a straight shot at the sub-objective. Which, of course, will fail the Mastery Challenge. If we allow that to happen. Hopefully, Gribs spawns first. Or they'll probably spawn about the same time, but hopefully Gribs is slightly ahead. Make sure we're gonna... Okay, they did spawn at the same time. Let's just get one Petrify on Gribs. Alright, Gribs is down enough. All right, the Cannon Ogre died. Perfect. So the upgrades over here paid off. He didn't get a shot off at the tree at all. So that is absolutely exactly what we want. Just get started back up and ready for the final wave here. See what we get for bossery. All right, what is it gonna be? Spam the last upgrades in here. Let's see, we got Captain over there, we got a Skelly, and we got a Dragonlord. All right, so this could potentially be not too bad. We're going to have to give that Dragonlord time to come out. Now, of course, the Dragonlord is going to freeze all of this stuff up a little since we're so spawn camped. But I think those Nimbus and the bees that we have down below will help things out quite a bit. I do have the Burning Strike Shard equipped now too, but I don't have it upgraded. All right. Dragonlord is down. Captain is on a tree. Let's get him petrified. All right, we good. So there we go. We got our... I don't want to jinx it yet. There's 5 mobs left. We should have mass destruction in the bag now. 1 kobold left, and there we go. The Star of Dragonfall is complete, so we got an inventory bag for free. We got a defense rate shard. And, more importantly, by completing this, we also earned the luxurious mass destruction. Such a beast. Let's hop on out to Tavern and go through this mass destruction shard a little bit. Now, Mass Destruction is without a doubt the best shard in the entirety of the game. It's 2 million gold to upgrade it, but we see 70% defense power. That's not really where the real power lies. Where the real power lies with Mass Destruction is it is stackable with Destruction. So, for example here, if we throw down our Hornet's Nest, we see its tooltip DPS is 35.8k. Now, if we go ahead and we throw Mass Destruction into that, now we see it is 60.8k, 60,000. So we got almost double the value of what we had previously. So it's such an enormous upgrade for every build. In fact, the Mass Destruction double stack is going to be the most powerful setup you can have in the majority of defenses in the game, as it is just so strong of a combination, you just can't go without it. Now, there is lots of questions on whether these stack. Originally, these were intended not to stack. They actually didn't stack for the first week that it was out. And then the shard became bugged and started stacking. Well, you know, for the longest time, it was considered cheating to stack these two. And then finally, Chromatic just said, hey, we're not changing it. It's not the intended way, but these will be allowed to stack. So now you got Mass Destruction, and Destruction is just the power stack no matter what. Now, a lot of folks are under the impression that these do not stack. So let's go through that real quick. First off, with just Mass Destruction and no Destruction, we're at 45,000. With nothing at all, we're at 26.7. When we add in our Destruction Shard, That takes us up to 35.8. And then, of course, when we add in mass destruction on top of that, that gets us to 60.8. So destruction and mass destruction does indeed stack. Use it, y'all, as it is the power combo and will really help you blast through the majority of your time and gameplay in Dungeon Defenders 2. Now, when it comes to the new player quest line, as you see now, we've got another tutorial type thing. Come over and talk to homie at the material market. We do that, and we're going to earn that completion. And then now the next and final step of the new player quest line is to do 10 incursions. 10 incursions is going to reward you with a bank vault slot and a burning strike shard if you haven't had it yet. Now, I've already got another burning strike shard. I don't really need the bank vault for this particular series, since this is kind of a throwaway account. We're just going until we lose. So I am not going to do this quest. But what I would suggest people do with the quest, it doesn't say do 10 different ones. It just says do 10 incursions. Well, it just so happens that the Demon's Lair incursion, with a little practice, you can pretty easily complete in under 3 minutes. It's a Chaos 4 incursion. It's very easy to do. Just do Demon's Lair 10 times. It's going to be like a 30-minute ordeal, 40 minutes, or even say an hour tops. You're not going to be out a lot of time, and you're going to get yourself that free bank vault slot. So even though I'm not going to do it in this series, you do want to complete it, and that is the end of the new player quest line. So definitely do the 10 incursions, and like I mentioned, just do Demon's Lair 10 times, y'all. Make life easy. That's so quick and easy of an incursion. But anyway, that will get it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching. Next up, we'll be unlocking Chaos 6 expeditions and starting to push forward. But thanks a ton, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a great week, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.